Hey everybody, we're back to the start of a new vlog, and the first thing we need to get tackled is painting these bits that we missed under the fascia that you saw on the end of the last vlog. I think I was gonna like put masking tape on it and all that, but I think that's long. What I'm going to start doing is just painting it with a brush, having an old tea towel and just wiping it as I go. I think that'll be the most time effective way of doing it. So yeah, that's the first plan. I'm going to crack on with that, and then might either start painting that in the grey to see what it looks like, or whilst I've got the white paint out, we'll start cracking on with the retro ghetto gym. But yeah, plenty to be doing. We're going to try and beat the weather because it's looking a bit grey, so we'll see what we can get done. Right, as you can probably see behind me, the weather's against me. We did manage to get the first coat done underneath the fascia, which is great, but yeah, good old British summertime has put a stop to it. Hopefully it's not going to rain. I was going to say all day, but all week. I've checked the forecast, otherwise there's not going to be much progress being made, but yeah, hopefully we'll manage to get back out a bit later on today. Right, it's about an hour or two later, stopping and starting. It looks like it's going to pierce it down in the non too distant future, so I'm just going to come smash it, get some work done, right? With it being an external wall, and with it being this masonry paint, I don't think a little bit of water is going to make too much issue anyway. I'm just going to crack on, hopefully slap another coat or two on this side, and if the rain holds off, we'll go and paint the other side where the retro ghetto prison gym is. Oh, that's satisfying. Right, okay, so I managed to get a second coat underneath the fascia, and I've done what is probably the fourth and fifth coats where it was brick before. I'll see how it dries. It might need one more coat, but it's never going to look exactly the same. But I'm just being a bit pedantic, to be honest, because yeah, instead of about 4 or 5 coats, it's white. It's very white. As I say, that rain is still on its way. The heavens are looking like they're closing in on me, but I'm going to at least get this wall done, because obviously this wall is going to need a few more coats than this one, so I'll try and get a couple of coats on this wall. The joy of this masonry paint is that it doesn't have to be completely dry before you do a second coat. You can paint it, give it 5 minutes and go over it again, and you can see that it does have a positive effect. So it's not like when you're doing interior emulsioning or anything like that where you have to really let it dry. So hopefully I'll get a couple of coats on this wall. First 2 coats on that wall done. You might notice that I've painted white pretty much down to the bottom, whereas continuity would suggest that I would leave the bottom 4 bricks for the grey paint that I'm doing, but I haven't decided exactly what I'm doing on this side yet, because as I've mentioned, I'm going to be putting graffiti on this wall. This is going to be either Street Fighter or God of War or something, which is going to go maybe span the whole way, I'm not sure yet. Obviously it's all something for another day. I've got enough on my hands now without trying to source and pay for a graffiti artist, but it will happen, so that's going to come at some point. So I'm thinking maybe just keep it white all the way to the bottom so it doesn't detract from the artwork. Yeah, it's easy enough to paint it grey if I decide to do that, but that's had 2 coats. Next time I come out here and paint, I'll give that a couple more coats. And the reason I haven't done anything on this, because logic would dictate that I cover some of this cement, because it's going to need a few coats, but I want to clean this wall thoroughly. As you can see, it's got years worth of crap on it, so I'll clean this wall thoroughly when the weather's decent, and then I'll start painting that one as well, and yeah, keep on keeping on. I've got the electrician in tomorrow to finish the final fix. Hopefully he'll put me some outside lights on and stuff as well, so that might be the next update. But yeah, as I say, I'm going to go and do editing now for the video you guys saw on Wednesday. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow with another update in a bit. Hi everybody, so it's been a couple of days since my last update. There's not really been much going on. I'll spin the camera. The electrician's been in, further done the second fix. We've got the Ethernet cable put through, a new box here, put on. This has been put on ready for the outside light, but to be honest, I think I'm going to move it. I probably should have told him before now, but I think it should be there. I think it should be closer to the door. I think it just looks random there, so now's the time. So we're going to move that along a few inches. But yeah, that's it. There's not really been much to show you guys, hence why I've not vlogged for a couple of days. Yesterday, me and little man brushed down all of these walls and hosed it all down. So we're ready to paint. Hopefully the weather's going to be kind today, and I'm going to try and get a few coats done for all these walls surrounding the retro ghetto prison gym. So yeah, that's very much the plan for today, is to crack on with this. Hopefully you guys will have something to see by the end of it. At this moment in time, I'm not sure if there's going to be a vlog this week, so if you're watching this the following week, obviously you know there wasn't. I don't want this to become a painting vlog. Let's say there's not really much else happening at the moment, so yeah, I'd rather put out a decent quality update on the 3.0 rather than just showing you bits of painting. But I'll assess it in a few days time as to whether there'll be one coming out this Sunday, but obviously you guys will already know that by the time you're watching this. So yeah, I'm going to crack on. I'll see you in a bit. Right, so before I paint, I prep the area, move some of the gym equipment. But what I wanted to show you guys was this little hack here. So this was the double socket outlet. Should have painted before it went back on the wall, I just didn't have a chance. So what I've done is I've put a sandwich bag on it, and it's actually done it perfectly. If it needs to be, I can always touch it up slightly with a brush after, but yeah, that didn't need tape or anything, that just sort of hugged that perfectly. And I think it was this vlog or a previous vlog where I was moaning about having to clean out these trays all the time. Well, I remember the top tip I saw from Ben over at Bugsys Toy Box when he was doing sort of his toy room renovation. And what you do is you just simply put a bin liner on top of your rolling tray, put your paint on top, and then you just throw away the bag. Once you're done, it saves having to clean out the rolling tray every time. So yeah, top tip that was from Ben over at Bugsys Toy Box. So I appreciate that, my friend. Link in the description below to Ben's channel as well. Great guy, make sure you go and check it out. Right guys, so the sun is shining. It's turning into a beautiful day, so hopefully I'm going to be able to get quite a lot done. I've done sort of third and fourth coats on this. It will take quite a few coats where it was the sort of more standard orange exposed brick. And I've done the first couple of coats on this side. As against what I've already said, I have tried to cover the black on the bottom because I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with this wall yet. With it being a graffiti wall, there's no need to have 4 black bricks at the bottom or grey, as I'm going to paint the rest of the property. But yeah, this will probably have one more coat, but to be honest, because it was white anyway, that looks pretty decent now. This wall is going to be more tricky because this is the neighbour's garage. He's happy for me to paint it, he doesn't mind. Because this property is, or this garage is reclaimed brick, which I think looks beautiful. It's almost a shame to paint it, but it's just not going to work being like this on its own. So, and obviously I've got plans to get graffiti on it. It's going to be quite difficult to paint. It's so textured. There's going to be a lot of painting on this, probably a lot of brushwork more so than the roller. So yeah, that's something I've got to come to. The only thing that's annoying me, guys, currently as I take a step back is it's not a very clean gap here. Now, whilst I don't have to be too precious about these slabs, because as I say, I'm probably going to paint them, I don't want it to be thick with white masonry paint. So, because the brush is on its way out anyway, I've got plenty of other brushes. I'm thinking if I shove a piece of cardboard there like that, really load up the brush, sort of wedge it in this gap, that I'll be able to get the full white look that I want for my own OCD, and also not get these slabs too covered in paint. So if you see the final result and it looked good, it went well. If we don't talk about this ever again, it didn't go so well. Just having a quick break, and yeah, we've finished painting the bottom of that wall. I'll flip the camera around. Yeah, I think it looks better than it did. It looks neater. So I started about the fence. The original plan was to paint all the fence in grey, but like I said, Google's your friend when it comes to DIY. I googled if you can put masonry paint on a fence, and not only can you, it's actually good for the treatment of the wood. So I'm thinking I'm just going to continue the white round. I mean, ultimately, if I don't like it, I can just paint it grey, it doesn't matter. Because I think I'm definitely going to have those ones grey, because as I say, I'm going to paint the posts white. It's starting to remind me. You ever see that Mr. Bean episode where he's decorating, and I think he just like covers everything in the room and then like blows up the painting and just white paint covers the room. I'm starting to think I should have just done that, but yeah, as I say, I want it to be a nice, clean, white, fresh aesthetic out here. You know, it's not a garden. It's, for all intents and purposes, it's a gym. So I want it to be as fresh and clean as possible. Try and minimise weeds and dirt, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just going to finish this bit of fence with the masonry paint. Hopefully it'll look okay. But yeah, it's all good. I'm listening to RGB Gaming Podcast with Ross, Bawhawhaw. I've been enjoying those podcasts, and Ross is a great guest, very knowledgeable about all things collecting and video games. So I'll put links to both the podcast and Ross's channel below. Yeah, I'm enjoying listening to that. And whilst I'm painting, I quite enjoy painting, to be honest. I find it quite therapeutic. So, I mean, within reason, day after day, it's a little bit tedious. But yeah, it's all good. I've got the podcast on, sun's shining, keep cracking on. Right, so I've made a start here. Pretty happy with it. This has had a couple of coats now. Probably need 3, I reckon, in total, with the green being so dark. And obviously it's slow going because I'm using a brush. It's not the sort of thing that you can be able to get much coverage with the roller. So yeah, I'm just getting the brush in, you know, trying to get it in all the edges and in the corners. And yeah, there's a lot of nooks and crannies to just shove the brush into. But yeah, I'm happy with how it looks. I'll show you guys now the finished result shortly. So I've got a bowl of water here with a bit of painting for little man who's going to be helping. I think this is like the dad version of giving the younger brother the controller that isn't plugged in. Oh, he's coming. Right, okay, so that's had at least 2 or 3 coats now. It's looking good. I'm really happy with how that sort of corner's coming together. The only thing is, down here was all covered in dirt, and I was always getting like weeds and stuff like that coming through. So I've dug it out as much as I can. My plan is to use some of this bag and cut it down to use it as like a sheet to stop the weeds coming through. And then I found a white bag of stones here. So the plan is just to literally paint all of these bricks that I just were here before I moved in, just additional spot for the fence, paint all that white, put as much of that bag down here, cut it down, as I say, stop weeds coming through, then lay that with, I'm gonna have to dig out some more of this dirt. But yeah, I'm gonna lay down some white stones and that should sort of complete the look really, keep it nice and clean. Awesome job. Right, so I'm pretty happy with how that's turned out. So as I say, I dug it out as much as I could, put weed killer on it, then I used this, cut it up as sheeting. Don't get fooled into buying that expensive stuff you can buy in garden centres that stop weeds coming through. This stuff works better in my opinion. So yeah, put some of that down, then just done a thin layer of white stones, just enough to bridge the gap. To be honest, it's a little bit overkill, 'cause you're never going to see down here. This is where the bench press and everything's going to be. But yeah, all in all, pretty happy with how it's tidied up, that little area. So yeah, decent. Next job. So I knew this wall would be a bit of a pain in the backside, but even more so than I thought. It's got so many deep crevices. I think what I'm doing is slapping on with the roller quite thick, and then I'm just going to have to go in and touch it all up with the brush. There's nothing worse than when people try to paint exposed brick and don't do a proper job, in my opinion. It just, yeah, you've got to really get in every nook and cranny, so I'll be getting in there with the brush after. I'll probably just keep going until I run out of paint. There's actually a reason why I'm running out of paint. If I had this on camera, I think this video would probably have gone viral. So basically, I made a fresh cup of coffee and a glass of water, one in each hand. I've come walking out here looking at the wall. I think I've tripped on a weight or something, and as you can see, coffee's gone everywhere. I didn't have one sip, which is okay, I can clean that, but loads of it went in the tub of paint. So this was swimming with a brown ring, that sounds very wrong. This had sort of a brown layer on top of it, so I had to use my hands to scoop it all out. Yeah, it cost me about 30-40 minutes making 2 coffees. Just, yeah, being an idiot really. You should always have a tidy workspace, that's the moral of this story. But yeah, I'm on the coffee now. I finally managed to have 1 sip. As I say, I'm just going to keep cracking on with this. It's going to be slow progress, I think, this wall, but as I say, I'm just going to keep going and going and going until we run out of paint. Right, so this wall has been hard work. It's taken about 2 hours to get to a point that I'm happy with it. It's just so much work. If you can look at the state of the brush.
This old broom has had 17 new heads and 14 new handles in its time.
literally just had to keep stabbing and to get in all the nooks and crannies. You don't realise how textured these walls are until you start trying to paint them, but I'm really happy with the end result. It looks brilliant, but as I say, it's taken me 2 hours to do, what, a third, less than a third, 2/5 maybe of that wall, to the standard that I want it to be at. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of hours work to get this wall finished, but we'll just have a little bit of the money shot. We've been at it for, what, 6-7 hours, I think, today, painting. Yeah, I'm really happy with what we've managed to achieve today. I need to go and repeatedly pick up and put down some heavy things before I have some dinner, but yeah, good day's work, I think, and hopefully next time we get a few hours we'll get this wall finished. Ben, you legend. Hi everybody, so it's the next day and I've done nothing today in terms of this project. Been busy doing work inside the actual house. I've said a few times that's a full renovation as well, so I'm sort of juggling on all fronts. Also been doing some editing for next week's mainline video. Yeah, so just haven't had the chance. I'm very happy with it. Really feels so much different coming out here now and seeing all the white. It just feels a lot fresher. You know, I'm really eager to get this wall finished to complete the look. The reason I'm sort of telling you all this is, I mean, at this point you'll already know, I'm probably not going to be putting out a vlog for this week. You'll probably have a week without, and then you'll be seeing this the following Sunday. I just don't want to be putting out a vlog that I don't think's got enough content in it. I've had an amazing reaction and I want to thank everybody so much to these videos. I just put out my Xbox 360 video and giveaway, which I think is probably still live at this point, so there'll be a link below. Make sure you enter that. I'm giving away 20 what I think are very good Xbox 360 games, so get involved with that. But yeah, I had a really nice array of comments in there. People say how much they're enjoying these 3.0 updates. Even had a couple of people say make sure you put an update out no matter how big or small or worse to that effect, and I really appreciate that, but I don't want to give you guys a subpar video. I don't want to just be, I've painted a couple of walls, here's a video, right? Obviously at the moment the progress is relatively slow. I'm doing all this stuff with every spare minute that I've got. I just have not got enough spare minutes at the minute to do more to get, as I say, what I think is a worthwhile week's vlog to you guys. What it does mean though is that the time you're watching this, what you've already seen, there's also going to be a load more, so yeah, hopefully you're enjoying this episode after the week off, and also you're going to be, what, a couple of weeks closer to things really kicking on, so hopefully, fingers crossed, by the time you watch this, the week after that, if not the week after that, we'll have windows and doors, and then once windows and doors, then it's all going to be kicking off. The plasterers waiting in the wings, electrician, everything's all, it's all going to start coming together very quickly once that happens. So yeah, we're getting closer to my dream, which I've said a few times, is being in this room with everything done. Not anything in it, just carpeted, paint, skirting boards, everything done. And just, yeah, there'll probably be a video of me just with a massive smile on my face walking around an empty room. I'm trying to plan out what I'm going to do with it. So yeah, that's been the dream for the last sort of 18 months, and we are on course to get there in the next, what, realistically, I don't know, 5 weeks maybe, hopefully. So yeah, right, anyway guys, I'm waffling. Hopefully I'll find a bit of time to do a bit of work tonight, but yeah, this probably should be about midway then of the vlog for you guys, so enjoy the rest of it. I'll see you soon. Okay guys, so this wall is all but done, and it's made such a big difference. When you sort of come from this and just get into this white space, it just feels so much of a nicer, cleaner space to be in. Obviously don't worry too much about the floor, because it's all going to get jet washed and painted at some point. There's no point in me doing it yet as much as I want to, because we've still got to lay some slabs here. There's still quite a few other dirty bits of work to be done, so I'm not going to get too bogged down with the floor just yet. Okay, so it's a new day. Just coming out here and inspecting my work from last week. Happy with all that. It's Sunday. The plan was to do a lot today. It's very wet, cold, generally miserable, but we've got a lot to do, so we're going to keep cracking on. Hopefully it's not going to rain too much, because obviously it's difficult to paint if it's pissing it down. But yeah, today, like I said yesterday, I'm going to be using this, if anyone's interested, Atlas stone. Don't know how it's going to look, hopefully it's going to be the right colour. And the first job is to paint what was black, so the bottom 4 bricks I believe, all the way across there. And if I've got a chance today, I'm also going to start painting just underneath the conservatory and in this corner here, just for continuity. Obviously I'm not going to stop tackling the whole house yet, but just this area just makes sense to do it whilst I'm here. So yeah, that's very much the initial plan. Right, so we've got some grey. The tactic I'm using, I'm going to try and do this with one hand and try not to mess it all up, is to go to that line there and just really take your time. Put quite a lot of paint on the brush. And yeah, I'd rather just take my time and get it right, rather than make a mess of it. Use the natural line of the bricks, and then sort of slap it on lower down. I'm going to sort of cover a lot of this concrete slab as well that the room's sitting on, because I don't know how high the slabs or anything's going to come once I do come to do the finishing touches here. So I'm just going to whack all this in grey paint, just so I'm covered basically. But so far so good. I think it's a nice contrast. Obviously we'll get a better picture once I've finished. Well, it's raining, but I've been cracking on and I'm quite happy with how it looks. Obviously it's going to need a few coats, but I'm happy with the colour. I think it's going to look good. It's pretty much how I envisaged it to be, so I think I picked the right shade. Good old Wilco's coming through. But yeah, it's going to need a few coats clearly. Obviously where before it was black, it's really still shining through. But yeah, I'm going to keep on keeping on, happy with the colour. Right, so now that's done and drying, I'm going to show you guys what this project is I was speaking about. So you might have seen this on some of the vlogs and wondered what it is. This guy here, I love sort of Japanese samurai artwork, that kind of stuff. This actually was a skip find. So this sticking out of a skip, I think I just saw his head. This is just flake like paint, there's no damage here at all. The only damage was the hand, which obviously I put a filler in because that was like hollow. It's not particularly expensive, it's hollow-ish, but I just really liked it. So I knocked on the door, dug it out of the skip, and the lion was in there as well. So my thinking is I'm going to paint it the same grey, clean it down a bit, paint it the same grey, and then I can maybe stick him by the door when it's all done as like a little samurai warrior to guard the room. Anybody's getting any ideas, there'll be a lot more than just him guarding the room, believe me. But yeah, so I'm going to paint him up, and one day I might put something on his hand, either a hook or have him holding something, but yeah, we'll get to that. So I'm going to clean him up and start painting him with the brush obviously, and yeah, see how he turns out. Right, so just see we've started. The key with this is obviously not put it on too thick, because you don't want to lose the detail. So it's really about making the paint go as far as possible. I don't know, I was under the impression I'd have to do a couple of coats, but looking at it, I quite like the effect it's given. It almost looks weathered. I'll see once it dries obviously, but yeah, I think it's going to look good. Obviously it's going to be a nice colour match, so as I say, you can live next to the front door and it'll match the lower part of the paint, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, so here he is guys. Samurai Ghetto. I'm really happy with the finish. I think it's nice. I think it's giving it like a slightly aged look the way it's dried. Mrs. Retro Go thinks it looks unfinished and it needs another coat, but I'll be honest, she's been anti this ever since I pulled it out of the skip. It's been lingering around the back garden for over a year now, but yeah, I'm really happy with it. A couple of the corners got chipped off in movement. These got a bit of super glue on them, and the back one which needs painting. But what I would say is, and generally, whilst I've been doing a lot of the work outside, and the super glue has made me think of it, it's nice to not have to be too careful with both the painting, super gluing, whatever. As I say, I've been renovating the inside of my property for almost 18 months now since I moved in, and obviously everything's got to be done with a fine-tooth comb, and every brush stroke's got to go the same way, and the roller and the finish, and don't get any super glue here, and put everything down so the carpet doesn't get dirty, and you know, it becomes a job in itself to prep. Whereas I'm quite enjoying coming out here and I can just slap paint on the wall, and if a bit gets on the floor it don't matter, because we're going to clean it up anyway, or paint the floor, or you know what I mean, whack the super glue on, and yeah, it's quite a refreshing change of pace for me, as I say, from being 18 months doing the interior of the house, which obviously has to be done to a much more higher spec, I guess. But yeah, still early in the morning. I'm happy with what we've done. I'm going to get out of here now. Samurai Ghetto is drying, and I'm going to do the second coat on this piece. Really happy with how this has turned out. It's a perfect colour. It's what the vision I had in my mind. Didn't want it too dark, didn't want it too light. Right, I've been busy doing other things for a couple of hours, but this has dried nicely. I did think at one point it was going to need 3 coats, but I don't know, maybe with different lighting it will, but right now 2 looks plenty. Really happy with how it's turned out. And Samurai Ghetto has dried nicely as well. Yeah, like I say, I'm still debating giving it another coat. Part of me likes the finish with the strokes, but yeah, happy with how it's all drying. Right, okay, so we dug all the edges, cleaned everything, cleaned the whole conservatory down, cleaned all this area, but me and RG Junior had a little bit too much fun with the hose pipe, so yeah, we need to wait for a lot of this water to dissipate, but we had a good time. I'm wetter than he is. Okay guys, so it's been a few hours since I last checked in. Finished for the day, I've cleaned up. Just to clarify what we've done then. We've got this nice grey painted 2 coats, very happy with the finish. And then what I've done is painted all underneath the conservatory, all up the sides. I'm not going to show you my conservatory inside my house, for obvious reasons, you nosy bastards. But yeah, really happy with how it's all tied together. Okay, it's another day, later start than usual because I've been busy editing this week's video, which to you guys was Wednesday's video. And I think the plan really is to tidy up. I want to get all this stuff moved out of here, everything moved out of the gym area, and I'm going to make a start on painting the fence and fence posts. Okay, so that's the area all emptied and brushed clean, so I can now sort of crack on with the next job, which is going to be the fence panels. Okay guys, so after much deliberation I decided to go grey. I'm very happy with it. I think it's turned out really nice actually. So yeah, I've gone for the same grey that's obviously around the bottom of the other side of the games room. But yeah, things are going to look really good. So what I've done is I decided to go with the grey because obviously the floor's going to be the same grey, and obviously this sort of lower section here, the fences, it's going to get filthy. So I think grey's the way to go. There's going to be a lot of brushing and hosing it down and that kind of stuff. So I didn't think white was the right way. So yeah, that's all grey. The floor's going to be grey, and I think I'm going to do the fence panels white. That will then match this fence panel here. So we'll get to them another day. But yeah, really happy with the progress we've made in the last few days on the Ghetto gym. That's me for today. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Okay everybody, it's another day. Haven't done much filming because time's of the essence today and the sun is beating down, so I've tried to just get some work done, get in and get out. First thing I did was do a bit more of this corner look. I'm still not done it. I'm still putting off the really hard part of sort of integrating in behind all this pipe and down there. And yeah, but there's I've done a bit more. The next step now is obviously to just tackle behind the pipe and just get it done. But obviously, I think the last time I spoke to you guys, I showed you that I painted all this grey, which I'm really happy with, and I was going to paint the fence in white. So this is the fence. Here's a fence I've already painted white. Took a few coats, but it's all good. This, however, has been an absolute bastard. I think this lured me into a false sense of security. The green under there painted really easy. This kind of more golden, would you say? Harvest gold, I think it's called when you buy it. It's like a stain. It just keeps seeping through. I don't know if it's coming through on camera. This has had about 4 or 5 coats and I'm still getting quite a bit of gold coming through on the white. I'm not expecting a perfect job. I'm not expecting it to be like brilliant white, like an emulsion or like this wall, for example, but I'm not exactly happy the way it is. So I'm going to let it dry, come back to it tomorrow. If I need to do another 5 coats, that's what I'm going to do. Painting these fences white might not be the best idea in terms of longevity, but it's not a problem. It's a good base coat, even if I do decide to do it grey at a late point. So if they don't age well or we get to winter and it just starts looking a mess, I can just paint it grey. I'm not too fussed, but I'm happy with the colour, or I will be once it's had enough coats, but no more sort of orange or gold seeping through. I think it's going to give a really nice contrast with the grey. So yeah, that's it for today. As I say, time is very much against us. It's very hot and I've got things to do, so I'll see you on the next one. Okay people, it's yet another day, the last day of these vlogs, and we've done it. I've just about done everything that I can do now at this stage. As you can see, the fence is done. Really happy with how this has turned out. I think it was the right way, and I think once the floor's grey, it's going to look really nice. Finished all this, did the dreaded bit behind the pipe. It was as much of a pain in the arse as I thought. Done all the touch-ups, everything that needed another coat's been done. So yeah, really happy with what we've managed to achieve in the last couple of weeks. Right, so that's it. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody that's watched, especially everyone that's watched this far. I know this probably hasn't been the most entertaining of episodes in this series, but it was one of them that was a must, really. As I said, it was 2 weeks where nothing was happening in terms of the construction. So all I can really do is paint. It's been non-stop. I'm really happy that I've got to this point where I've pretty much done everything that I can do in those 2 weeks, literally with a day to spare. We are ending on a high. I've had some fantastic news. So tomorrow morning, at the time of recording this, they are coming to screed the floor. Once the floor has been screeded, they are then going to be doing the insulation in the walls, and then the floor is going to be built. I've got the windows and doors confirmed to be going in next week. Once they're in, we can crack on with electrician and plasterer, and then that's it. We're there pretty much. So yeah, it's all going to really start coming together. I'm very, very excited about that. So yeah, hopefully the next time you see me, we'll have loads more to show. We'll be almost there, guys. Almost complete in terms of construction. And then we can start getting into like painting interior, carpets, all that kind of stuff, and really see the room take shape. So yeah, again, thank you for sticking with what has been a lot of painting. But yeah, I'm really happy with what we've achieved in the last couple of weeks. And I've had to like whittle down this footage. I had like over an hour's footage that I've whittled down for you guys. You'll be seeing some before and after pictures now of what we have achieved in the last like 10 to 14 days, and I think it's made a big difference aesthetically. So yeah, really happy with how we filled this gap, and from tomorrow onwards it should all start coming together. I'm going to spend the evening now clearing out the garage yet again, brushing it out, ready for them coming tomorrow morning to screed the floor. And yeah, all I can say again is a massive thank you, and the next episode, yeah, should be a good one, guys. Thanks again, I appreciate it. See you on the next one. Take care of yourselves.